Hello, everybody. Is there anyone here? Anybody here? Jason Casper. It's just me and you today. Is that the real Jason Casper? I never quite know, because sometimes, yeah, of course it's the real Jason Casper. We had one that was in here that was like an imposter Jason before, and I almost gave the imposter Jason a mod thing like you did for me the other day. But yeah. Anyway, cool. Welcome everybody. How's it going? Cakezilla gets six Jason Casper friend requests every day. Oh, it's Jason Casper, and so is his wife. We are all Jason Casper today. We are all treadmill, synthwave traders today. And I'm not running, so trade at arm, I'm not running, I'm just walking. If I was running, I would be a little out of breath. Ready? Anyway, welcome everybody. So we've got Jason Casper, the real Jason Casper, in the house. We've got Andrew, we've got Paul, we got Melchiz, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, Lockwood, Trader Arm, G-Rob, Griff, David Urban, Cake, Powell, Waris, Bulk, Tonster, Maysound, a lot more crypto, and yeah, everybody else. Jim. Heroin Auster Stektos. Welcome. Okay, so let's start off with Bitcoin for today. Melchizedek. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Tom Jones, welcome. All right, cool. We got some people in here. So yeah, let's start off with BTC. Do we want to do the macro stuff? Or do we just want to talk about where we are? There's some interesting stuff to actually look at. If we go over here, we can have a little update, because there's a few things that you guys might not be quite aware of yet, and I haven't actually shared with even the crew, but I spotted this earlier. So first of all, go check out tauruscrypto.com if you are new to the channel. And you can find out how you can join our crew in order to make better trades, make some money, join the community alongside all of us over there at the crew. I need to update this. New people in the team. Yeah, but what I wanted to show was basically the CME futures open interest that we've had just this massive spike up over the past few days. Well, since the weekend, really. So was that an early sign of things to come, with the CME futures open interest getting a huge move up, despite Bitcoin not really getting that move up last week? And then we've seen that continuation into today with so the open interest here on the CME, as of yesterday, was 3.2 billion, whereas just a week ago it was down there at like $2 billion. And if we look back over here, back in June was when we first started to get the announcements about the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, and all of that. So a big spike in open interest in options volume, and starting to get a move up on the GBTC premium over here as well, as people start to get positioned for the ETF. Now, we know it's inevitable. We know the ETF is coming, and we know it's going to drive a lot of volume into the market. It's going to drive prices to astronomical levels. So all of you guys that are waiting for 10K Bitcoin, it's about time to just like eat your shorts or whatever it is that you got to do if we don't get it. So it's not going to happen. I had a few comments earlier on some of my tweets be like, oh, but no, but it's pumping, but we're still going to 10K. It's not. Yeah, It's not, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are uber bullish straight away and we're going to be kicking off the new cycle here. There is going to be money coming into the market, but it is going to take time to get there. They'll probably want to push prices lower initially to begin with, but it's an ETF, okay? It's not like there's not going to be that much short selling straight away on an ETF. So the move up, we'll go over onto this chart to begin with, and we can just look a little bit at the technicals. So it was a 22% move, and if we look at just, I mean, where were we last week? Where were we even, like, over here? So in the space of a week, we've gone up almost 40% increase in price. And since the high, and this is just on purpose, remember, it's very hard to chart this right now. We got a 10% pullback overnight, and are now starting to sit in the middle of the range. So there is important resistance to be aware of. First of all, on the day of my birthday last year, we had this big drop in the Bitcoin price. The day before my birthday last year, on the 5th of May, we had this big drop, and then we started to fall out of this range that we had been in for quite some time. So I think at this stage, a lot of people, if you remember back a year and a half ago, everyone was kind of thinking, myself included, that we could be putting in the higher high and we could be coming up here before maybe getting a move down afterwards. That never materialized, and then we had this big drop that we've been in for the last 18 months, and we finally have a move up that's coming back in to test it. So this white zone being, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. For fuck's sake. Didn't switch screen. My button isn't working. Right. Yes, okay. So this move down, if we remember a year and a half ago, we were starting to look at this as being a potential higher low for higher prices. Never happened, we got that drop down. And what we've done today is just come in to this gap that is on the chart over here. There it is. And then we are possibly looking at the daily order block above, which is from around about 38 to 40k. Now, as confluence within that area, if we are to draw a fixed range, so thank you to Delirium for reminding me about this morning. If we draw a fixed range from basically the entire bull market, then our point of control for that is at $39,000, give or take a few dollars over here, okay? So significant resistance to be aware of if this is to get further continuation higher. That 38 to 40k is going to be a very, very tricky zone to get through. Now, it was cake and delirium. Okay, it's all of our fixed range. We've spoken about this before. I couldn't remember who it was that reminded me of it. But yeah, there is the point of control. That is the move. And yeah, so far we've only had a 38% retrace. So from our high down to our low, we're still in that 382. So not a particularly, although it's been like a very big move comparatively to what we've had so far in the year, we're still only at that 38.2% retrace of the previous bull market. Now, could that go up to about that 50? We were looking at 42k as being a real good target for the whole bounce. Now, we never quite got there earlier on in the year, but I do think that higher prices now is starting to look quite likely. I don't believe, now we never know as traders, but I don't believe that this is going to be a fake out. The fact that we pushed beyond 30,006 to 30,800 and got invalidated on the short position and now are holding significantly higher than that does make me bullish. And that does mean that for the next few weeks, at least, yes, there'll be pullbacks, but I am looking at mainly long positions. So I think that's the macro. I think that's like, there's not too much more to really add to that. You've got a couple of one-to-ones here, so 37, 160. You've got your one-to-one of like the low from down here to your high to this low, because this one here wasn't particularly liquid. This is the low where spot took the lows as well. So a few more things just to be aware of. And then obviously if we're looking at Coinbase, we're still quite a long way off of that in regards to spot price and so on. So yeah, expecting a little bit more continuation. Riff, anchored VWAP from all-time high, yes. So again, all of the Bitcoin updates I've done recently, you would have seen that I had been talking about. So we had anchored VWAP from, and it depends on what chart you're looking at. So on here, if we're looking at the Bybit chart, anchored VWAP from our all-time high was acting as support. What was also acting as support was our yearly anchored VWAP. Okay, so both at the same point in the chart. But then if you're looking at Coinbase, it's a little bit different, okay? So you add your anchored VWAP from your highs over here and from your lows. You can see actually it was a little bit higher, but we did break through them both. We had this little bit of a lower one, where was what we got, where we had the bounce earlier on in the year back in September. So those have been really useful. What else is there? There's the moving average. So I think the 50 period moving average on the weekly, that was also giving us confluence. Okay, so we had that weekly open and close above the moving averages. The first time we had that since back in August, basically saying to us that, okay, this failed to break down further. We'd reclaim those moving averages, got back above them, and you can see the 50 moving average on the weekly is quite important. You zoom in on here, and you can see resistance, support, then just holding around here. You finally get that open and close back above, and now we've seen that continuation. And then on the daily, once again, we saw those 50 and those 200 period moving averages together, managing to hold as support. We came back into that point of control, and then since then I've had a really, really nice move higher. So I am a bull. I am back to being back to being a Bitcoin bull again. We were waiting for this confirmation. Now, as you say, we don't know when, there's no guarantee. This is trading. I took a short position yesterday. I got stopped in it, but I don't care. That's a trade. It was a well-managed, good risk trade on a small amount of my portfolio. So although I lost money on that, my portfolio has been pumping today, which is great. On the day so far, we've been looking for higher prices. So there was a long position. This is the one that we had spoken about in the trading room, where at the time this was the point of control. So we can see where our previous point of control was just here. We'd had that move down into the POC, and we were looking for a move back up towards the highs to take out this, basically our Asia high, our high of the day. This zone here being an area in which to take profit. We had a 15-minute order block, and then we had a high volume node, which has now become the point of control of the day. And then in addition to that, this, where we are now, or this zone here, was also the golden pocket from our high to our low. So we've come into that golden pocket area. We're holding around the point of control. It's a fairly balanced day so far. If we look at the VWAP again, maybe that could give us something to... Oh, no, we're right at the VWAP. So we're getting a little test of VWAP as we speak. So at the moment, managing to hold above session VWAP, but just below that point of control. So Yeah. I'd say if you're in a long position, this could actually be a good point in which to just move stops to entry, move stops to break even. I don't do it much, but if you do lose VWAP, then you're probably going to be coming down and taking out these lows. And then we still have the potential here for higher prices. Now do we want to do any more on Bitcoin? Or shall we move over onto the legacy markets? I have taken a little short position just within the last half hour on ES, which I'm just going to take some profit on, because that also is coming back into VWAP now. So if I show you on here, go to our 5-minute time frame. Whoa, that's not the TPO I want. 4. There we go. So with ES, it was a little bit extended above the highs. There was a good opportunity for a scalp short here. Failed auction at the top. And now we're pulling back. Pulling back into what it was the volume point of control, but also the VWAP. We have the TPO POC a little bit lower. Holding just above value area high right now. Nasdaq was a similar situation. Oh, why is this reset on everything? No, it's not 50 ticks, 20 ticks. Cool. Just before I forget, I am just going to take profit on this now. There we go, done. Tom Jones, CME gap at 36k too. And Heroin says we filled that. Let me have a look at that. Just mark the high, and then we'll know. No, we've not filled it. But yeah, there is still this gap on the CME chart. With 37,020 be that gap fill. That's the only one really, unless we go like much higher. No, that is the only one above us. Partial fills, partial. So yeah, that's going into the gap. Oops, indeed. Did you mean this one? I guess you're probably talking about having filled this one previously, right? What is this? Why is this line here? Oh, so I just marked that line. I was like, oh my god, we've literally just hit this line. Yeah, there you go, cool. So 35,550 to 37,020. There is the CME gap. GBTC is quite interesting as well. So that is also the gap fill. And it's GBTC, so something to be aware of, because that is Grayscale. This will be the ETF. So if the ETF is filling this gap, then that is something also to be aware of. Bitcoin liquid index, has that done anything interesting? Nope. Cool. It is a good job that I just took a profit on that ES short. May sound. So it's time to buy some alts. Yeah, I am looking at low caps. So if anybody has any interesting low caps that look good, then that is currently what I'm interested in buying. That is what I'm interested in trading. The reason for low caps is I do think that we're looking at continued dominance from Bitcoin. Oh, I flipped these all over. Okay, this is why it's all gone weird. Yeah, if we're looking at BTC dominance, I would like to see this continue to go higher. Realistically, like, I just like 60% as a level for Bitcoin dominance. It's where we spent quite a lot of time previously, before I guess the end of the last bull market, when everything started, well, when all the alts were playing catch up. Bitcoin was holding that 60% area for quite some time. Now to get a move back towards there, now that there's a lot more alts about these days, so it's going to be hard to get there, because just generally the market is much more diluted than it used to be. But if it can get that move to 60%, that would be great. Which is why I'm not really looking at, like, ETH still looks pretty bad. I need to see a lot more strength from Ethereum. It's lagging behind. But on the altcoins, I do like the look of them. So we charted up some of these earlier. The first one is FitFi. What did I chart FitFi on? Don't know which I charted it on. I charted it. Was it FitFi? Or was that because it was... What was it? I can't remember. I can't remember what we're looking for. FitFi USDT. Yeah. And it was... MEXC. It was the MEXC chart. There we go. So it was a little degenerate play. 500% if you want to 5x something and it looks pretty good. What I like about this is just prolonged downtrend. So we had this prolonged downtrend. We then stopped that, went into sideways consolidation, and now we're just within this accumulation area. And I quite like that it's just right now hasn't really followed through this move, but we've seen that sign of strength. We've had the full retrace, and it's in an area, okay? It's a time I've been waiting for this as some kind of confirmation that the market is exhibiting some kind of strength. So what I'm now looking for are altcoins that have a lot of potential, even for a small move to the upside. So by that, I mean, like, if you can get 500% move just by coming back into a golden pocket of where we've been for the year. So, or even like a 50%, like recover 50% of the profit for the year, you're looking at 3x for that. That's the type of thing I'm looking for, just recovery of what we've seen so far this year. Not massive high time frame, not looking at new market cycles, but looking at stuff that's in that sideways consolidation that looks decent. Yes, okay, it can go lower, it could go to zero, you never quite know. But alts that look like this are things that I'm now looking at with a lot of interest. A good example of how this is looking now is how Link was basically like last week. So with Link, you'd had that downtrend, you went into sideways consolidation, okay, you had that deviation at the bottom, you came back into support, and then anyone who was buying down here when we were talking about this at around about that $6, $5.70, $5.60, you've now basically doubled your money. And again, this is looking pretty strong. So as long as you're now holding above that $9, $10 on Link, I think there's a lot of potential for this to go quite a lot higher. So ideally what I'm looking for now, so just remember this, as if we're just playing cycles, what you should be looking for, or what I believe is the best chance of success right now in this market, is stuff that has had this downtrend. It has then had sideways consolidation for an extended period of time, and now you're starting to exhibit signs of strength. So either, and this is one of two options, either you've had a deviation to the lows and you are managing to hold a higher low. So I would want to see altcoins that are around about this area in the chart. So where Link was just, well, a few days ago, well, a few weeks ago, or something like FitFi had, which is showing signs of strength, then managing to hold. So if you hadn't had the deviation, you want to see the sign of strength to begin with, and then hold as a higher low after that. So these are the two, I guess, the two models for entries. So go back over onto FitFi. This is the spot chart I charted, wasn't it? Then this is what I mean. No deviation, but showing a sign of strength, and now managing to hold above there. How about GMT, FitFi competitor? See, I don't actually know anything fundamentally about that coin. I just quite like the way it looks technically. There's probably a lot more that also look very good. Yeah, GMT. I can remember this. Yeah, this is another good example, because it's similar, right? And the thing we've got to remember, we're not interested in catching bottoms on any of these things, which is why I would rather buy into some kind of strength, because if you're trying to catch bottoms, it often isn't the bottom. But on this one, okay, is that long enough for sideways consolidation? I think this could probably remain range bound for a little bit longer. Yes, you've had a deviation, but is that sideways enough yet? Because you just continue to make lower lows, apart from on this one here. And it's already quite high up. During every bigger push, there's always one sector that tends to go big, worth looking at CoinGecko categories. Yeah. So what I like at the moment, and the narratives that I've been interested in is gaming and real world assets and interoperability. So I think those ones will be good. So I've got a few of those that are already on my watch list. Root, which I've spoken about before many times. You've just had, ever since this has been in existence, like since forever, this to me has just been a nice nice consolidation, accumulation. And I think Root is looking like a good asset for the next cycle. Rio, I really like the look of that. I've been speaking about that recently. All this stuff is now pumping. By the way, it's all going a bit crazy. B-Bank, I quite like. Blockchain Bets, which is a competitor to Unibot. Not Unibot. The other thing. Banana Gun's the competitor to Unibot. Blockchain Bets the competitor to that. Betting. Rollbit. That's the one. Block. I don't know Block. What is Block? Blocktopia. Wow. I don't know. Is that enough sideways? I guess so. Like you've broken the downtrend. So fine, at long last, stuff is breaking the downtrend, but I don't know this one fundamentally. Would you wait to buy a pullback on here back towards that like 1,400 0.0014? Oh, ES is pumping. By the way, I am very glad I closed that short position. Is it already? Oh yeah, cool. Market is open. That is a very good job I closed my short. The power of the VWAP. I mean, it didn't even hit it. Block is gaming, NFTs, VR platform, etc. Nice. Nice. I will, I'm going to add that to my watch list so I can research it later. Whoops. Which one's got more history? Yeah, keep going. I just don't like that it was around in the last cycle, but PMI and 10. Yes. I've never really known PMI. I've not traded around, or well, not actively known that I've been trading around PMI. I don't know what kind of effect PMI has. It's certainly not like a CPI, PPI type of thing. Anything else that's moving like up massively today? Or down massively? Woo is, oh, look at that. I'm very bullish on Woo token. Not just because I like the exchange, but I think the whole structure of the chart here, I really, really like the look of. Blur's getting a move, Vet's getting a move, Flow. That could be a possible short coming up here on Flow. Coming into this gap. Ah, can't like, there it is. What's on CRO? And I just no. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never liked crypto.com as a platform. I think maybe they were a product of the last bull run. I don't know if they're gonna have that same kind of success that they had previously. I'd be very, very surprised if Crow ever gets back anywhere near the highs that it had from the last cycle. Pradeep, thanks for that TPO tip you gave recently. It's done so well. It's done well so far. Much appreciated. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, the That was another very, very nice example of it working yesterday. And on Friday, last Friday. So we'll see if there's another opportunity for something like that today. So it's gapped up. ES is gapped up. Nasdaq gapped up, aiming for back towards previous day highs and Friday highs, I think, on both of these. So I'm not really looking for shorts just yet. Maybe not Friday highs on ES, but potentially on the Nasdaq. Can be going for those Friday highs. There's a nice NPOC up here on the NQ. We have a time point of control at 15,000. We have a volume point of control at 15,050. On the ES and the S&Ps, we got a volume point of control, we've got a naked VWAP close, and we've got a time point of control at 43.30. So if we are to see further move up, there is a big level to be aware of. I give up. You can't remove it, probably. Greg says CRO is great. According to the M1 sponsorship team, they definitely like their turd products. Yeah. This will be interesting. How many of the Formula One sponsorships do we think will remain beyond next season? How many are going to get replaced by whatever the new stuff is? And what will the new stuff be? What are the next big sponsorships going to be? The big crypto sponsorships in Formula One. Divine Hood, Arbitrum will be a good one to watch. I like Arbitrum. I've got spot Arbitrum. I think these are the things. These like layer 1s, layer 2s. So like Arbitrum, Aptos, Sui, those kind of things. They look pretty good. Are you not looking at alts with laser eyes at the moment? No, I'm looking at alts with a very cautious smile on my face. We've seen strength within the market. I do think we're heading towards some kind of bigger rally, and I do think we see some really good projects, not just the meme coins and the shit coins and all of that, starting to have very decent rallies. Optimism, I am optimistic on Optimism as an example. I like what it's done here with that downtrend. Again, deviation at the lows, showing signs of strength. There's a bunch of stuff out there. Who was it that mentioned Arbitrum? And like for the first time, really, it's been sustained. Aptos, another nice example. But it is a cautious smile. It is not laser eyes because we've already had a big move up. We do need to be looking at pullbacks and buying pullbacks. Not just blindly buying right now, I would imagine. And you got to be careful because I do think that Bitcoin dominance continues to increase. And when you get stuff like this, like on CFX, I do think there'll be short opportunities. Like that looks way too high, and it's coming into resistance. Shiva, Woo looks pretty strong too. Yes, it does. You'll hear me shilling Woo token a lot over the next year. Just, I mean, I really like Woo. I really like the team. They're great guys over there. They're working on like a real good exchange that is like actually for traders. They've got lots of stuff in the pipeline. I know a couple of you guys have been asking about hedge mode. That's going to be released, I think, in the next few weeks. So hedge mode is coming out certainly this quarter, but I think it may be fairly soon. There's going to be a bunch of other stuff happening on Woo, on the Woo exchange. If anyone would like to trade on Woo, it is in the link for it is in the description below, I believe. The link will give you a 20% discount on fees. So that's something nice. And for me, that is where I am now doing all of my trading. So Dave Brown, hedge mode basically means, you know, like you can do on Bybit, where you can open a long position and a short position at the same time, and you can have one cancelling the other on out. So you can basically just going to go like, yeah, you know how it is. That's hedge mode, so that's what they're releasing soon. MJ, Bybit is going to be replaced by FTX 2.0. No, Bybit is replaced by Woo. FTX 2.0 will replace nothing. So it looks like we've got our opening range here on the ES and on the NASDAQ, because we've just taken out lows for the day. I don't know if we're looking for a gap fill straight away, because I am feeling like we can go for highs, but we've just taken out those lows. This looks to me like it is a fairly decent opening range. Oh, you're talking about F1 sponsorships. Yeah. I reckon you might see we might even see some Woo F1 sponsorships. I don't know if any of their representatives are interested in that. But maybe there'll be a Woo F1 sponsorship. That would be cool. I might just start trading Woo token and just, I don't know. The Woo rug pull. Yeah, maybe that's the time when we... Yeah. ES will get crushed by BTC dominance. I'm gonna have to check out the Woo exchange. As in the UK, we can't use Bybit. Funny they stopped us using it just before the big rally up. It's not even fun. Like, it's just so obvious. And we've spoken about this so many times. Like, once they've completely cleared the decks of all retail traders, and it's the same like UK government, the US as well. Anyone that's in one of these democracy, well, like good, I don't know. Anywhere where you're paying a lot of taxes, they don't want you to get rich. They don't want you to be successful out of buying the lows on Bitcoin, and they want to get everything for themselves. You know, the banks will be buying it all up. They want everyone selling. They want normal people to be selling all their Bitcoin, to be getting frustrated that exchanges are closing, to be hating on crypto because all that we've heard for the past year is about all of these scams and rug pulls and how Bitcoin is too risky, how crypto is too risky. And then it's just inevitable. Like, the second that everyone's out and everyone's given up on the market, like myself included, Like I've been so bored of Bitcoin recently and of crypto recently. It has been very, very boring, and that's worse than when things are crashing, because when it's boring, you just have no real incentive, no desire to keep up to date with what price is doing and with what are good assets. Now, the lucky thing for myself is I have been doing research into stuff that I like. But yeah, it's just been a waiting game, just been waiting for the opportunity to get back into it. So maybe now is the time to be getting back into it. How's Bitcoin doing anyway? Nothing much going on since the start of the New York Open. A true hodler has never bought a BTC. I guess so. I mean, I was never bored of it. I just wasn't trading it. I still think crypto is great. I still like Bitcoin. I still hold Bitcoin, but yeah. Kevin, beside trading, do you have an investing long-term account, and how different strategy do you have for this? So yes, I do. This is kind of what I've been talking about on the alts. I do have a crypto portfolio. It's down a lot, like as probably everyone's is over the past few months, like especially with alts bleeding. I think I bought into some stuff a little bit too early, which is why I've been waiting for this, just why I've been waiting for some strength in order to get back in. And now is the time where I'm really starting to pay attention again. Now, if I'm wrong, again, I'm wrong, but I would rather, yeah, I think now's fairly low risk to be starting to get into some stuff. This one is another one I'm looking at big time. Like, we had that launch. There's been a lot of hype about this. It's had a very, very good pullback. 50% discount, basically, from when it launched a couple of weeks ago. It's a gaming asset. It's a game, isn't it? We know how well gaming did early on in the last bull run. The likes of Illuvium, Axie Infinity, all of those kind of things. The games were doing really well. So this is one I'm looking at. I need to add that to my watch list as well, don't I? Oh, I saw another comment on here a minute ago, didn't I? Again, from Pardeep. I don't like BitGet. I'm never going to trade on BitGet. So I've made my thoughts about BitGet clear. Clear for like over a year now. Yeah, I briefly used BitGet, and this was around the time of the FTX crash. So they were being quite aggressive with their marketing around then. I think they exploited that a lot. I think BitGet took a lot of FTX customers and exploited the opportunity. They made the most of that opportunity. But I don't like them as an exchange. They're a B-book exchange, which means that it's not real liquidity that you're trading, and they profit from liquidations. So I don't like them, and I do not and will not trade there ever. Mm-hmm. Low time frame analysis for BTC. I mean, now that we've just had the open, I'm just waiting. It's that correlation with the Nasdaq seems to be back. Look, this looks really good. It looks good to me. I still think higher prices is likely. We've just come down, swept the lows. Little SFP of these lows. One, two, three, four, five. Come back down, correct. Hit the 4. There's your low. Look for it to come up and take these highs. I really like the pullback we've just had. It's the same on the ES. I like that little drop. This seems to be a good opening range. I do have a bullish bias for the day. And at this stage, I'm now a buyer if we come above here. I'm going to be a buyer on the Nasdaq if we come above here. And essentially, I think I could be a buyer on Bitcoin right now. What's the lowest you think today? Daily open? No. I don't think we'll be hitting daily open today. I think if we do, that's kind of bad. I'd have to, yeah, I'd have to massively adjust my bias for the day and have to rethink things again. Like yesterday I was looking at shorts, didn't play out, got stopped. Today looking at longs, I'm not interested in a move down here. That can come in time, but you don't want to be giving that kind of opportunity right now, I don't think. I think we just take this, a little sweep of liquidity. This is what we've been speaking about. We hit that VWAP, we've been holding that. And I think like exactly where we are right now. In fact, let me take this trade. Alright, is my internet okay? Can everyone still see me? There seems to be, I'm getting a bit of lag. I think we're okay. Here we go. Nice recovery from the ES. Nasdaq looking good as well. I'm gonna go for these highs. Did anyone go long anywhere? Watch this thing melt off, put in a bar and fake everyone out. No, this for the first time in a year, I just don't think it's gonna happen. I just don't see this retracing just yet. Like at some stage you've got to just, you've just got to admit the fact that like, that this is probably it. This is probably going to be the start of something a little bit more prolonged. And it hasn't been like that for a while. It's a difficult thing to say. It's tough. It is a tough thing to put your money on the line when you've been failed so many times by this asset. Like every time it pumps, it's just like, okay, big retrace, pump, big retrace, pump, big retrace, pump, big retrace. But the last one, despite the fact that it was fake news. It wasn't even real, this, but it didn't fully retrace. Again here, I think we just have to yeah, know that this could be the start of something a little bit more significant. Richard Morrissey, actively scalping XRP 1 minute at the moment. Nice. XRP, let me just see if I can see what you're seeing. I have not traded XRP for a very, very long time. So drop into the golden pocket from that impulse that we had earlier on. I'd actually be looking at a short on XRP here. I'd probably be looking at something like this. Back into session VWAP. Does that look like reasonable? How many ticks do we want? Oh my god. Not 0, 10. 5. No, 10. I don't know, you got like a second distribution going on here, so actually it looks quite strong. It looks kind of strong. But interesting to see. I mean, there is the opportunity to go for a short here, I think, on XRP. That at least is what I'm seeing right now. I just don't like that. I'm going to post this into the posting this into my room on the Discord. And then Bitcoin. Let's post this one again. Oh, I hate that we have to keep changing the tick size. Whoa, 400. These are just all ideas. We're just like, just little ideas on the charts. That's looking like you're getting a pretty good entry again here on Bitcoin. Oh my god. Yeah, ES has pulled all the way back down again. There we go. That's what we mean about that opening range. Can I look at total market cap? Sure. Oh man. All this talk about being bullish, and then total market cap goes and does something that I like. If this was like literally any other, like any asset, I'd be short like all day long on this right now. Like big impulse. You then take the highs. Okay, yeah, you're not going to get volume. It's total market cap. But you take the highs on what would probably have been lower volume. You're breaking this structure back down again. Having just been all of this like bullish stuff. This is all just alts catching up there, isn't it? But if this was like any like altcoin or something, I'd be looking to short that. But it's just, yeah, it's total market cap. Who knows how technical that actually can be. Okay, right, I think I'm just going to take a call it there. It's been a good little hour. We've covered some stuff. We've been looking at some good stuff. I just want to have a look. There's a couple on here. Maybe two more. There's a bunch of things. ASTR, World, WooX, CFX. Again, a bunch of alerts for things that have had large moves. So let's just look at WorldCoin, because I know that that's something that has had a lot of hype recently. No. CFX. Oh, that's that one. WooX. Again, nice sideways consolidation on this with a real good deviation. So keep a lookout on WooX. That is another one that I need to add to my watch list. Just from a very quick look at the chart there, I really like the way that I really like the way that WooX looks. So I'm going to add WooX. Why KuCoin? Why did I just add KuCoin one? I don't know. What else is... Gods. I've had another alert about something called Gods. Never heard of this. Gods Unchained. Is this a game? It's probably a game. Oh, man. Yeah, there's some good looking stuff out there. Right, I'm going to call it a day at that. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. This has been good. This has been fun. Let's wait for the initial balance to come in on the ES and on the NASDAQ. And then I'll be trading this a little bit later. As I say, I am looking to buy. Sounds a bit weird, right? But I'm looking to buy a breakout at the highs. It's not a good idea to be a breakout trader on a lot of things. But when you are trading within an opening balance, within an initial balance, an opening range like this, buying the breakout of that is generally a pretty good thing. Who's Becca? Gods is one of Becca's faves. I don't know. Anyway, cool. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. See you all very soon. And happy trading.